So, hello, beautiful souls, and welcome. This is Billy Gillis along with Peter Walker, and we would like to introduce you to our new show called The GESARA Show. And, Peter, tell us a little bit more about what we got coming up.
Right. Uh, so the previous show we were working on, we got into trouble because a couple of people got scammed, and then they basically cut the show off. I think because maybe they didn't totally understand the situation, which is fine. Security is an important issue, and we decided, well, the show is so valuable, so many people love what we were doing, that instead of just let the show go offline for weeks or whatever, uh, we could do it ourselves, and so that's what we're planning to do. As Now, running a show like this does come with some costs, so we can't do it for free, unfortunately. But we want to keep the price as low as possible, and we came up with a price of $4 for the month, because every week there are 4 weeks in a month. That's $1 a week, and there are 2 shows in every week. So
50
it's 50
cents a show.
50 cents a show. I think that's a pretty good value, isn't it?
Yeah,
And you
four
get
bits. Four
yeah,
bits.
that's right. Yeah. So we worked out, because we have costs to pay. We have to get a new Zoom license. We have to do various things, and so that's basically what we're intending to do now. Quite honestly, I was very heartened when I saw how much love you guys have for our show, for
Very
you.
much so.
It was so many people saying, "Oh, we really love your show. We really want you to come back." And I think that's been part of the reason that we decided to first of all do it alone. Now, this could be temporary. We said to Tara, who's running the other show, that look, we understand you're changing websites, you're getting things ready, you got a lot on your plate, and the last thing you want to do is have us to mess around as well. So while you're sorting things out, we will do our own thing. And if you want us to come back, tell us, and then we can go back and do the other show. And that's basically where we left it. We were just told not to use their name, which is fine. So we're
Right,
doing it under
exactly.
our name. That's why we're not going to be mentioning the name of the other show or the name of the show we did before, just because we want to respect that. Yeah. If we're doing it on our own, it's our name and it's not their name. And that is why we're calling our new show the GESARA Show.
Exactly. And if you notice up at the top, up above our heads up here, you'll see the new website, https:// Nasara GESARA-QFS.com. That is where you go to register, okay, for our new group. And then we will, everything is encrypted. It's very, very secure. That's where you can make the payment to join, and also where all of our emails will come out for our distribution list for the new show to get you invited into the Zoom call. Okay, so that is Nasara-GESARA-QFS.com, right above my head here. So get in and do that now and get registered. And we will start this show up coming up this Saturday. I think we'll probably do it just a little bit later than the regular after party, so that we're not so close. So the after party begins at 4 p.m. Madrid, okay, which is now 10 a.m. Central Standard Time here in the United States. So if we go by what it's normally an hour here in the United States, that would be about 11:30 Central Standard Time here in St. Louis, Chicago. Okay, and I believe, Peter, that is what, 5:30.
5:30. Well, yes.
5:30 Germany.
Yes. I say the show on Saturday was normally at 5 p.m. Here in Germany or Spain, the same as in Spain,
okay.
On the same time zone as in Spain, and that was 4 p.m. UK time. or GMT, or Universal Time, as people call it.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're proposing we start instead of at 5 p.m. at 5:30, so half an hour
Uh,
later.
that is correct. To give everybody a chance to do a bio break, okay, and get set for our. We normally go 2 hours, don't we?
We normally go 2 hours. That's true.
Get something to eat, go to the bathroom, and take care of all the personal stuff for a half hour
That's
before we
right. But
start our show.
we'll probably start the video at the normal time, and just so that people will know that it's starting soon.
Right, exactly.
We can do that. Now, let me just give you a brief introduction to the new website. Yes, that should be. So can you see that?
Yes, there we go.
There we go. So this is our new website. And I say not a lot there yet. We're still building it. But basically, it is not just a place where you can buy the access to the webinar. The videos will be released on that thing, but it is also a forum, an online forum, and you can join and you can exchange messages. And it's a much more secure environment than Telegram, because Telegram, we were having problems with these scammers, and the scammers were basically contacting the people. What we want to do here is restricting the membership to the real people, which is you guys, and then you're much safer from scammers. You see, it's a forum. You can write text. We can do a lot more on a forum than we can do on a Telegram. So we already have someone writing messages on the forum, although we haven't properly announced it yet. And what you want to do when you want to sign up for our show, you click on subscriptions, which is right here. And then you can choose. Now, this is just a demo at the moment, subscribe to forum access. That's probably going to go away because we don't want to charge you to use the forum. It'll be a $4 charge for a month for using, to seeing the videos. So forget what you're saying here. I was just running a demo. At the time we're recording this, this is still incomplete. But
work in progress. Still
but
under construction.
But by the time you see this video, because we're going to be releasing this video on Thursday, that will be running properly and tested.
Okay, but also our Telegram channels are not going to go away right now.
No, they're not going to go away. Absolutely not.
This is a little bit more formal way of doing things than the open chat that I have with my channel, where we discuss everything from, conspiracy theories to cats and dogs and puppies and sharing recipes and everything like that. We get into everything on my chat channel, but it's a lot of fun. But Peter, this sounds great. You've done a great job putting everything together, and I look forward to it. I'm looking more like John Durham every day, don't you think?
Oh, right, yes. Will you be going out arresting people? Well, John Durham has a great solution to those people who have headaches.
Oh yeah, they do. That's really neat, and and the fact that the United States military has been ordering all of those guillotines. Wow, that's
30,000. I heard.
Yeah, 30,000. Yeah,
that's a lot of guillotines.
That's a lot of guillotines, but that would cure a headache real quick.
Yeah, and permanently as well. You never get another headache again.
Nope. Permanent solution.
Yeah,
we can only hope.
It may hurt a little bit for a minute or two, but
maybe it would be interesting to see the chicken run around. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yes. I don't really think I want to observe that, to be honest.
Not really, no. But there's some people out there who would really like to get into that. Not me, but anyway, folks, that's what's going on. We are building it. It's going to be up. We'll release some more information on Thursday, St. Patrick's Day. Wear your green, okay? And get ready for a lot of green to come your way.
Yeah, I say. Now, I only started building the website a few days ago, basically, I think on Saturday I started building the website. So I think we're already got quite a long way in that few days. And the idea is to have it fully operational by Saturday. Now, obviously, for the Zoom license, please sign up immediately as soon as you can, because we need to get, I think, about at least 300 signups before we can fully pay, before we can get the Zoom license. But that shouldn't be a problem. We've been having over 1,000 people trying to sign up on our last show, so I think it will be working really well.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the idea is initially we're doing this for a month, and after a month we're going to see if we go back to the old show, or if you guys like what we're doing and would like to stay with us, then we will continue doing the show. We will leave it up to you guys to tell us what you like. We're going to be a little bit different to what we were doing before. We're still going to invite you in. We're going to do question and answers. We're still going to do Intel, but we're also going to bring in a few more specials where we pick a topic which is going to be of interest to everybody, and talk about that a little bit more. So briefly, I know you guys are always hot on Intel, so let me just give you some of the latest Intel I'm seeing. I say it's the 16th of March when we're recording this, and the latest Intel I'm seeing is that things are moving on. The Swift system is now officially offline. The new quantum financial system, whatever it's called, it may not have that name, as we heard from the other guy. It is no longer the Swift system is no longer online, but it's going to take a while before it spreads throughout the world. As I say, it is many countries are trying to hold on as long as they can, and it's probably going to be a pretty nasty few days. I suspect it's going to continue. Well, I think until the 23rd, but I fear it could go on to the end of the month. Because if you have a rat in a corner, that's when they're most vicious. And from what I'm seeing now, I live in Germany. Very interesting what's happening in Germany right now. Germany has started supplying weapons to Ukraine. Now, Ukraine is obviously part of Russia, as we've been learning. And Germany itself does not have a peace treaty. What they have is an armistice. But back from the Second World War, there's an armistice still in place. And Germany just broke the conditions of the armistice in delivering weapons to Ukraine.
Exactly.
Which means that Russia would be perfectly within their rights to march into Germany and remove the current government. And I have been hearing reports from the German guy I follow, Alexander Quandt, that Russian troops have already been seen in Germany. And so it might happen faster than we think. Now, the Russian part of Germany was the part on the east, what used to be the East German Republic.
Yeah, east of the Berlin Wall. That's what divided it all at one time.
Well, no, I've been to Berlin many times before and after the walls fell. Actually, East Germany is a lot larger than just east of the Berlin Wall.
Well, yeah, of course.
Berlin at the time was like an island. It was surrounded by East Germany. And it was like one little island of West in the middle of East Germany at the time. I remember visiting East Berlin before the wall came down. And it's really strange because you drive through East Germany to get there. You have to be very careful not to speed, because they had speed cameras everywhere. And if you went over the speed limit, they would come and get big fines because they needed West currency. So you had to drive, but I always drove, about 10 kilometers an hour below the speed limit. I just didn't want to risk it, although I'd normally be pushing the car to the limit, but not on that journey. And
Never,
then
never actually been there, but I did touch pieces of the wall here in the
right,
United
yes, no,
States. Here in the
I
United States, they actually have pieces of it down at the
I
George
remember they were
H.W.
chipping
Bush.
them off here. Yeah.
Yeah, George H.W. Bush Presidential Library at Texas A&M University in College Station, Texas.
Well, let me explain a little bit more about my day in East Berlin. So I stayed in West Berlin and decided to do a day trip into East Berlin. And so this was before the war. I think this is going to be about 1988. This happened. So what happens is you take the underground train. You'd call it the metro in New York, I suppose. You take the metro, which goes under the wall and to a central station in East Berlin. And then you come out and you have to go through security checks. You had to exchange 20 German marks, D-marks, for 20 East German marks. And that was a bad exchange rate because normally it was like one DM was worth 6 East German marks. But okay, you knew that in advance, you accepted that, that was fine. And I thought at the time, 20 marks, I can easily spend that, I'll just spend it, no problem. That's what I thought. I got into East Germany and I saw the wall from the other side. It was very interesting because I'd then seen the wall from both sides. Through the Brandenburg Gate, and I started looking around. Now, every I don't know, 50 feet or something, someone would stop you and say, "Do you want to exchange money? Because these are East German people who want West money." And I said, "Look, I'm trying to get rid of the money I've got. I don't need it anymore." I went into a department store, and you had things like Sony Walkmans there. But they were 6 times more expensive than you would pay in West Germany. So I said, well, I'm not buying any of those. So I went to a supermarket. Now, basic things like bread rolls, potatoes, that kind of thing, basic foods were dirt cheap, really cheap. You know, it's a few cents, which you would pay, a DM or something in West Germany. So the bread was dirt cheap. So I said, okay, bread's cheap, but other foods were sort of more expensive. And there was not a lot on offer. It was only, a few products. But I said, okay, I just looked around. It was interesting. Then I decided it was a hot day. So I thought, let's go to an ice parlor and get an ice cream. I'm sure that'll get rid of some money. And you can get this like nice sort of ice cream sundae and all that stuff, and it costs like 50 cents. So you couldn't even get rid of €1. And I sort of, and I was not hot on strawberries at the time. I'm just not a strawberry person. So I said, well, can I have the ice cream without the strawberries? They said, no. You can only get what's on the thing. And I said, look, I'll pay double, or triple. I don't care about the money. No, it's on the menu. That's the only thing you can get. They will never vary it. And also the people in the shops were very rude. There was nothing like being, friendly dealers or whatever, that, because they couldn't care less. They got paid the same if they sold anything or not. So, okay, so I tried a bookshop. I managed to get 1 or 2 books. Obviously they were in German, but as I speak German, okay, that was some use. And I did a bit of sightseeing. They have a big TV tower, went up there. So I spent the entire day trying to spend this money. And at the end of the day, I still had 10 marks left. The whole day I've been doing sightseeing, buying ices and stuff like that. I just couldn't get rid of the stuff. And you're not allowed to export the money. So they said, oh, do you want a bank account so it's there for next time? He said, or do you want to give it to the Red Cross? And I said, give it to the Red Cross.
Oh gosh, what a nefarious, organization that is too.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I didn't know that at the time, but put it that way.
That's true. Back in 1988, nobody really did.
So anyway, so I was really glad to get back into West Berlin. But it was a day I wouldn't have wanted to miss. It was extremely interesting to see how the other half lives. And a few years later, after the wall fell down, I drove back there. Now it was part of West Germany or Germany, and I went to the same shops and to the same locations. And I went to that supermarket, which didn't have that much last time, and it was full of products. And I was looking specifically for East German products. All I found was milk. Everything
Wow.
else was West products.
Wow.
Milk, that was it. That was the only local products I could find in the supermarket.
Wow. That's
And
interesting.
so so you know, I will never forget those times, that visit to East Berlin, and I'll have to see if I can find the pictures from back then. I say it's a long time back now, but it was a very memorable day, that's for sure. Anyway, we were actually on Intel before we digressed off onto Germany.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but anyway, so Germany could be in trouble, and it could be that the German government will be removed very soon because of them effectively declaring war on Russia, which is a very bad idea to do. And I just got the impression that the German politicians are just clueless of what they've really done. They're just going along with the vibe of, oh, everybody hates Russia sort of thing, except that, well, that's what the mainstream media wants us to think.
Well, that's the way it all started before. Is everybody got mass brainwashed, and then poof, all of a sudden you have World War II.
Yeah, that's right. Well, we're in World War III. Anyway, and what Putin was discovering, that these biolabs in Ukraine, that they were preparing this autumn, or if you're American, this fall, to release a new bioweapon which would kill off 70% of the population. That's what they were able to prove in Ukraine. And that's
Well,
terrible. That's terrible.
is that along the lines of that Marburg variant that they're talking about over in that's coming from over in Germany for the new COVID variant?
No, I think this is a totally new thing. What they were planning is to release this pathogen in fleas.
Oh, okay, yeah, all right. It's kind of like the
Um,
bubonic plague.
yeah, that's right. So they're basically they're going to create these fleas. They're going to release them everywhere, and then they're going to go and bite everybody, and everybody gets bitten, gets the disease. That's how they're going to kill off 70% of the population. That worldwide. That's what they were
Wash,
planning.
wash your dogs.
Yeah, well,
Give your dogs a bath.
and have the thing is, how do you flee the fleas?
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
So I'm really glad that Putin has gone in and stopped that. Or at least I hope he stopped it, but I'm pretty sure he has. And that. So what else have I got here? Um, so I hear that March the 17th, according to Bruce Fleming, or no, Bruce, is saying that the historic bondholders should be receiving money on the 17th, which is tomorrow
Yeah.
for us, but it'll be today when you hit this recording, because we will be releasing it tomorrow. And we should be get some money, be able to get the money shortly after that. Now, what they want to do is they want us to be able to at the Intergret group, as I say, Tier 4B, to be able to get our currency exchanged before the 4th of April, or April the 4th, as you like it. Because on April the 4th, they want to open it up for the public to be able to exchange. So we should be able to exchange before April the 4th, if we can get an appointment in time.
All right. One thing I'd like for you to explain real quick
Yes.
is the tier system, because I get a lot of questions all the time, and this pops out in the chat rooms and whatnot. What is the tier system? Explain tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, A and B.
Right. The top tier is like the large industrial user, large investors. So these could be countries. It's at a very high level, so you've got to have billions to be in the top tier. Then after that, tier two, I haven't got the list right in front of me, so I have to do this from memory. I could be wrong, so don't take my word for this. Tier two, I believe, is things like charities and large charities, that kind of thing. Tier three are bondholders, large bondholders, and tier four is basically us. Now there are different groups in tier four, which is 4A, 4B. We are 4B, and tier five is the public.
Right, exactly. Okay, and I heard that like tier three was like the big banks, like Wells Fargo. Okay, that were going to come online and help with the currency exchange.
Yeah, the major
and the
bondholders. That's right.
the major bondholders. Tier 4A, I believe, is like local banks, credit unions, and things like that that are Basel III compliant. Is that correct?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay, and then Tier 4B is us awakened people. Okay, who are current holders of like Zim notes, dongs, and things of that nature that would go before the general public.
So, so if you got Zims, make sure that you've crossed the I's and dotted the T's. Oh no, you've dotted the I's and crossed the T's
And
on your business plan.
make sure the Q has that cute little tail as well.
Yes, that's right. Yes, yeah. Let me tell you something. Now I think it's no secret that I'm a Star Trek fan. Yeah, I think people have noticed that.
Oh yeah.
So I watched Picard, the latest episode of Picard.
Yes.
And it is in our time. And who is there? A guy called Q.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I sent you that video of that, and I'm like, the latest episode of Picard has Q coming back in our time.
That's right. Yes.
I'm like,
I thought,
how
wow.
ironic is that? On the same day that we did our Star Trek episode, that episode is released.
That's right.
You couldn't ask for better timing, really.
And they're on the date in the year. They're in the year 2024. And I wonder why they chose that year.
Yeah, right.
Maybe because that's the year they think Trump's coming back. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think he's coming back this year, to be honest.
Oh, yeah, I think he's going to come back this year, too.
But, didn't I say Star Trek was predicting our future? They even have a Q.
Yes.
They even have a Q.
There's a lot of movies that have been predicting the future. Okay?
That's right.
I mean, it's like we were discussing today. The whole Twin Towers and Building 7 falling as well. It was never hit by an aircraft or whatnot. But what was in the basement of that building was all the gold. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Building 7, that was.
Right, that was Building 7. But if you remember the movie Die Hard with a Vengeance with Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson, the whole premise of the movie was the police are running around trying to find an explosive device in a school somewhere, and everybody leaves where the financial district is downtown, and the criminals go in and steal the gold while the police are scattered around doing something else.
Yeah, that's right.
That was the whole premise of the movie. They have to tell you first.
Yeah, they tell us. I know, and I remember on the day 9/11/2001. At that time, I was running a business for phone cards, so callback services, if you remember those kind of things. Where you had a card. And I was running a business at the time for selling callback cards, and I just noticed that the service stopped working, and so I was in the car at the time, and I was like, it's not working, but so. And I tried to call in America, and all the lines were engaged. And I tried to call other people in America I knew, and you couldn't get through to America at all. Every line was totally. So I thought, well, this is a bit strange. Then I got home, switched on the TV, and then, oh my God. Now, not only was the problem in America, the callback service I was marketing had their headquarters like 2 blocks away from the Twin
Right.
Towers.
All the lines were severed.
All the lines were severed, everything. I had to write on the website at the time, oh, so sorry, your service is not working, but our offices were 2 blocks away. The amount of understanding which came from the customers, oh yeah, we understand, no problem. Yeah. They totally understood.
Well,
But
where I was on that day was in Chicago. My office was at the corner of Halsted and Jackson,
right,
which is about 5 blocks directly west of the Sears Tower.
right.
Okay. When we saw that happen on the television there in the office, my boss Vinny, he just said, "Everybody, get out of here. We're too close to the Sears Tower. This could happen here."
Yeah.
He just said, "Get out, go home now."
Good advice, yeah. And the other thing I remember happening on that day is I was watching the BBC. Because at that time we all thought we could trust the BBC. I certainly
I was watching CNN.
Oh my God. Oh no. Yeah, okay. I think BBC is slightly better than CNN. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
But but one thing I distinctly remember seeing on that day, and I've watched that clip later again, is they had this lady called Jane something, and she was talking about the Solomon Building, that's what they call it, the Solomon Building, having just collapsed.
Yeah.
But I just looked at a map of New York, and I worked out that the Solomon Building was behind her, and it was still standing. And I said, "What the hell?"
Right.
They got something wrong here. And 20 minutes later, it then collapsed.
Yeah,
but they'd announced it 20 minutes before it had happened.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I remember that. That was funny. And then, on top of all that, the day before, on September 10th, Donald Rumsfeld, the Secretary of Defense, comes out and says the Pentagon has lost $2.3 trillion. Okay?
That's right,
and
yes.
They couldn't find it. The airplane that supposedly hit the Pentagon just happened to hit the section of the Pentagon where the finance office was.
Absolutely. Yes, you're absolutely right on that.
Wow, what a coincidence.
Yes, that's really basically what woke me up, 9/11.
Oh, yeah.
But I didn't wake up straight away. It did take a while. In fact, I actually woke up in Australia because I was visiting a friend of mine in Australia who I knew through the medical things I'm involved with. A wonderful guy called Jeff Baker, who lives near Sydney. And he just said, "Oh, here's a movie. Watch this. This is all about 9/11." It was what was the name of the thing? It was I can't remember offhand, but I watched
JFK to 9/11. Everything's a rich man's trick.
No, it was this guy who speaks a bit like you do. It was with sort of deep accent. I'll have to look it up. But it was very good. It was a very good program, and it explained a lot of the things. And I thought, wow, could this be true? And this is where like the computer programmer came through in me. Because if you're a computer programmer, analyze, get to the bottom of everything.
Right. Well, you're a computer programmer. I'm an audiovisual technician. Okay. I know how to do things live. Okay, to trick people. I've worked with professional magicians and know most of the tricks and how things are supposed to be set up on stage.
Right.
Okay, to fool the audience with lighting and special effects and things of that nature. So it's like, I get it. I know how to manipulate an audience with sound, light, and smoke and mirrors. It's really easy to do. But with you with the computer graphic experience, both of us together, we could fool everybody all the time.
Well, yeah, much later, I was involved in this Star Trek New Voyages fan film group.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
And the visual effects, the quality of the visual effects is just astounding. You can really do anything now these days. We were a fan film. We were not. Yeah. We were not professionals. We had a reasonable budget, but enough. But it cost us like $100,000 to make an episode.
Right, right,
Not the millions which Paramount was paying.
right. Exactly. You can. There's an awful lot that you can do. I remember, seeing the beginnings of Project Bluebeam way back in the day. Okay,
Right,
I mean this was 20, 25 years ago. All right, the amount of technology that I was privy to over the course and period of years is astounding. Okay. My dad used to work for McDonnell Douglas Aircraft Company here in St. Louis, and he was
right,
part of the radio controlled flying club with the engineers and everything.
yeah,
And these guys were absolutely amazing. I mean, back in the day, the guy would have a Al Signorino. He built the world's first ever Snoopy doghouse aircraft, radio
right,
controlled aircraft. If you
okay,
remember it, you can look him up online. Al Signorino, very famous guy.
okay,
Uh, and he had a cockpit, a cockpit on the ground that he would do his control his biplane with. And in his biplane, he had a camera in front of him on the ground. He had a live video camera so that he could see through that camera on his cockpit. And this was in 1970.
wow, that's way before we've been there.
19, yeah, 1970. That's
Yeah,
commonplace today with the drones.
yes. Yeah, I've seen those drones, where you wear the goggles and then you can fly.
Yeah,
No,
obstacle course and everything else.
that's right. Yeah, it's one of yeah. I could have I bought a small one, but I didn't spend enough money, and I and well, after I got it, I found that it's really difficult to find places you're actually legally allowed to fly it.
True. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
which
Yeah,
kind of a bit off-putting. You can't fly it over people's houses or over people or anywhere near airports or anywhere near road. Yeah, so it's kind of
people are
very
using them to
restricted.
do. People are using them to do peeping tom maneuvers against their, with their neighbors, voyeurism and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Really
Well,
creepy stuff.
so I after buying it, I didn't really use it much. And I say it was a cheap one because I just wanted to see if they're good enough to mess around with. I'm glad I got a cheap one and didn't go for a more expensive one because then I'd have been really sort of angry. So I found an alternative which I preferred, which are the 360-degree cameras.
Yeah.
Uh, do you know those? Like,
Uh huh. Oh
I
yeah.
had
Oh
the
yeah.
Insta 360 X camera, 1X, Insta 360 1X, and you put that on a pole.
Mm-hmm.
And the nice thing is it films in every direction, and you do not see the pole in the video. It
Right,
removes
but
it.
also it has a gimbal in it, like a Steadicam does, so it doesn't get
Very
the jiggle.
absolutely, yeah. So you can make pictures like they're from a drone because
Yeah.
I had this 10-foot long pole, which I could really put the thing a long way away from me, and you wouldn't see the pole. You would see me. You'd see my environment. You wouldn't see the pole, which is between me and the camera. And and I thought, well, that's my personal drone. The
Right. Yeah.
360 cameras. Unfortunately, there's one problem with 360 cameras is the lenses stick out, and you're prone to crash them into something and then break the lenses. In
Oh.
fact,
Oh yeah. Most definitely. Yeah.
and
Definitely.
I unfortunately I broke two of them.
Ah, that's a
So
shame.
I got fed up after that. So the two I bought one. It broke. I got a second one half price, or someone else who had broken it. Then I
Mm-hmm.
moved the lens from the one to the other, so that
Mm-hmm.
I had one whole camera. Then I could use it again for a while.
Right.
And then another crash, and then I had another broken lens, and I just gave up. But I'm thinking about it. When the money comes in, when I get the millions, I'll buy another one probably.
Oh, I'll probably buy one just as a toy, just to,
I must admit, I love photography. I've done photography all my life, photography, videos, all that kind of stuff. I got tons of cameras here, but the 360-degree camera, that is really fun. That's the most fun camera I have.
I had one professional camera that I got when my parents bought me for a birthday before I graduated high school, and I won a contest to gain tickets to uh, Carburation Day and the Indy 500. Okay, it happens every Memorial Day weekend here in the United States.
Right, right.
And I had all that camera equipment, multiple lenses, speed shooter, and back then it was the Canon AE1 program, which did nothing but 35 millimeter film, not the digital stuff that we have
Right,
today.
right.
All right, went to Carburation Day, got some great pictures, and everything else. I was shooting like a shutterbug, and that night went out to dinner, came back to our hotel room. Somebody had broken in and stolen all my camera equipment the day before the race.
Oh, that hurts.
$5,000 worth of camera equipment back in
Oh,
1981.
wow. I hope it was insured.
No, it wasn't.
Oh God.
A homeowner's insurance wouldn't cover it
Yeah, yeah.
for my dad because it was mine. You know.
Unfortunately, something like that happened to me as well. I remember I parked the car in the garage at home. There was this multi-story garage,
Mm-hmm.
and I left a camera on the back seat, thinking, well, this is a private garage. Nothing's going to happen here. I just
Yeah.
wasn't thinking. The next day, car had been broken into, camera was gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
I was heartbroken, man, and I never got another camera after that. All I did was just take little pictures with little box cameras and little Instamatic
yeah.
cameras and stuff. After that, I was like, no, I blew my wad on that one. That was that.
Right. Yes. Yes. So yeah, I went later. I went a lot more into video. So I've made a lot of video films and stuff, which is quite creative, and I use Premiere Pro, which I use for these shows as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got quite well. Yeah. Well, my job at New Voyages was preparing the videos for release. I was at the end of the line.
Right.
They sent me the video material. I stuck it together and released it. And
my thing was the live shows, making people look good and sound good on stage.
mm,
That was it. The proper lighting, proper the way the sound system would sing. It was everything.
right. Okay. We didn't get very far with the Intel. I'll just see if there's anything.
Oh, sorry, I butted in.
Well, no, we both digressed. Yeah. Well, we haven't got an audience this
Well,
time.
yeah, and now we're just talking between us here.
Yeah, that's right. So we're having more fun. It's great fun talking to the people.
It is. It is great fun. It is great fun. There's lots of short stories.
It's really
to share.
great because you get to see people from all over the world, and you can talk to them, and I love it. But say it's different today.
Oh yeah, it is. It is.
Okay. But anyway, a lot of this stuff is about what was happening in Russia, and the trafficked children, which that is appalling. When I keep hearing about that, tunnels and all right. I was so busy working on the website, I haven't really done too much preparation on Intel today, I must admit. But
that's okay. I know you've been busy.
It's when I'm not building a website, then you have more time to do it. But so what I've got is I've got Judy's long PDF documents that she's sending out now, which are very good.
I've seen those. That's very good stuff.
And I got one of those just to get up to date. But anyway, we don't want to make the show too long today because it's just like an intro and a replacement for the show we couldn't do today. Right. And this is going to be a surprise to a lot of people because a lot of people think there's no show today.
Right. Yeah.
And but what I can say is, if you've enjoyed our shows and you want to see our shows, we want to start the next one on Saturday. Go to the website nazara-gesara-qfs.com, nazara-gesara-qfs.com. Go there, click on subscriptions at the top, and subscribe. It'll cost you $4, and that will give you a month of our videos of us giving you Intel. And of course, we'll be doing the question and answers, as you know from the other show. We'll be inviting you in up to 1,000, and we're going to try and get you all back to speed with the latest Intel and get your questions answered and get it working nicely. So,
yep.
So
Good job, Peter.
yeah,
You're doing.
absolutely.
You got it going on.
That's right. Yes.
All right. I mean, it's only 4 bits, folks. So if you don't know what a bit is, you got to remember the old comedy routine: shave and a haircut, 2 bits. That's 25 cents. So
2 bits. Okay.
yeah, yeah,
Right.
2 bit. That's where the 2 bits comes from. 25 cents. It's only 4 bits, 50 cents per episode.
Oh, that
So
means my computer's really cheap because it's like 64 bits.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
I love it. And how many ounces of silver did it take to buy your computer?
Well, a lot more than a few cents, that's for sure.
Well, but then how many ounces of silver
I
is it
don't,
going to take
you
in
know,
2 weeks?
I don't know because I'm one of these guys who builds computers. So you buy the chassis, you buy the motherboard, you buy the hard disk, you buy more, and you
Right.
stick them all
Yeah.
together, and then over time you replace the things which got too old. So you keep the
Exactly.
hard disks and replace the motherboard, bit of faster processor in there,
Mm-hmm.
and as
Beef
you
up
need
the
more,
memory and the RAM, and
yeah. And I probably got about 10 hard disks connected to my computer. Got so much data.
Well, that's like me. I mean, I've got Apple on one screen, I've got Windows on another, and I have Linux on another. You
Right.
know, and
Well,
I'm
my
like,
my web server is Linux. I've always stayed away from Apple because it's a closed system,
mm-hmm,
and I like a system where you can actually install stuff yourself without being told
right,
what you're allowed to install.
exactly.
And
It's very proprietary.
yeah, it's very proprietary. That sort of maybe go to Android because I'm too much of a guy who tinkers and wants to put special software on there and stuff like that to be in a closed system.
Well, I found my music software worked a lot better with Apple than it did with Android. Okay, as far as recording studios and things of that
Yeah,
nature,
that's a special.
it's a specialized thing, and it was designed and built for the Apple platform. Then there are other things that work great with the Android, Windows, and stuff like that. And Linux is for graphics,
Yeah,
heavy graphics. I mean, we're talking, you've seen the renderings of ballparks and things of that nature.
yeah.
That's what I used to do for people, is put those renderings together, put all the seats in place and all the
Hmm.
vending machines, and build it from the ground up in that virtual reality realm,
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
like 3D CAD, you know.
Yes, yeah, 3D CAD. I did a little bit of CAD when I moved house. I did a 3D use of 3D house designer software.
Hmm.
I measured everything out and then built it all virtually, and then I could work out where all the furniture went in the new house before I moved.
Yeah,
And I was
exactly.
surprised it worked perfectly.
It
Everything fitted
does.
exactly as I'd worked it out in the software.
Hmm. But you can make something so realistic, and you've seen, the mainstream media use the gaming footage as actual war footage of a plane
Yes,
getting. I mean, you can make it look so real, you wouldn't know the difference. You
that's
really
right.
wouldn't.
Yeah. Except that the gaming companies then said, "Hey, we got copyright on that
Yeah,
video,"
exactly.
and then they
Exactly.
had to remove it from the news footage. No, to be honest, when I was growing up, the news, the principle of the BBC, what the BBC declared, I thought was good, is that rather than take a side, they would show both sides of the argument and then
Hmm.
leave it up to the audience to decide. That's how they used to be.
That's
I
how they
remember
used to
that
be.
very clearly at the time of the Falkland Wars, the
Hmm.
when
Wasn't it the
Argentina
big program Point Counterpoint on the BBC?
counterpoint. Well, counterpoint was one of
But
the programs which did that.
what
Yes,
point Counterpoint, I think it was called.
yeah, point kind of, yeah, counterpoint. I know is a program on the BBC. Yeah,
Right.
and but that was their principle at the time, and people were actually complaining that BBC was putting the Argentinian point of view. But I thought it was good because if you get both points of view, then you could make your own decision as to what's happening. Nowadays, you only get the one side, and
Hmm.
if you even discuss what the other side is thinking, you're some kind of a conspiracy nut.
Hmm. Exactly. You can't have Paul Harvey coming on the air here in the United States, the famous radio broadcaster in the United States, and his famous last line, he'd have a segment called, "And now you know the rest." of the story.
Yeah, sounds pretty good. Yeah. So,
My Paul Harvey impersonation, in short.
right.
This is
So
Paul Harvey. Good day.
now you and I obviously grew up in different cultures because I don't even know who Paul Harvey is.
Oh yeah, he's
But
he's famous.
I could probably mention a load of British guys who you might not have heard of,
Oh yeah.
or maybe you have. I don't know. I mean, one of my famous comedians was John Cleese.
Oh yeah, I love John Cleese. Always have. Oh, always have. Since the Monty Python days, way back when. I was watching Monty Python. I guess I started watching him, Monty Python, when it came on PBS here in the United States.
Yeah,
And I was probably about 9 or 10 years old
yeah.
when I first saw it, and I had to sneak it because some of the stuff was very questionable. Okay,
Yes,
R rated.
he said they didn't care. They
Yeah,
didn't care.
they didn't care. But I found it hilariously funny, and I think that's where I got my sarcastic humor from.
Right? Yeah.
Was John Cleese, in a very dry, sort of way. Oh,
Yeah.
bless you.
No problem. It's just Corona. There's nothing worse.
Yeah. No, not Corona.
No, I don't have Corona. Don't worry. I'm still unvaccinated and will never be.
I have my vaccination card. I have my unvaccinated don't vax me card from
So,
vaxcontrolgroup.com.
so do I. So do I. And it's been great because it got me into all the places where unvaccinated were not allowed to go in.
Exactly.
So the other guy I remember was Kenny Everett, which you probably don't know.
I've heard the name. I don't know if I've actually seen anything or heard anything.
He was very big in radio in the UK, and he later did a TV series. Now he was famous for a sort of sci-fi series called Captain Kremen.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And Captain Kremen was like your superhero who saved the world every week type of character. And
well, my uncle got me really big into the old radio programs before television came along. Listening to Orson Welles do the original broadcast of the War of the Worlds.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or the adventures on the radio. Only the Shadow knows. Okay. Or the Outer Limits and the Twilight Zone before they came on television. The old radio broadcasts. And if you sit in the dark and you listen to those, they will scare you to death.
Yes.
I mean, it's the theater of the mind. You're not watching imagery. It's theater of the mind.
Absolutely. Well, there's a reason why New York went crazy when War of the Worlds was put out as a radio show.
1934 CBS broadcast. Yeah.
Yeah.
They had to keep running on there. This is a radio broadcast. This is not real. And people still thought it was real.
That's right. Yeah. So so that was amazing. Now coming back to Kenny Everett,
Yes.
I really liked Captain Kremen at the time, and I thought, now this was like me beginning to get involved in theatre sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I decided to do my own version of Captain Kremen, which I
Okay.
called Captain Charisma.
Okay.
Okay, and it was the same premise, sort of this space scientist who went out there, and I wrote about 5 different stories, which I did as like a radio program, so it was audio only. But I had special effects. I got friends of mine to play different roles, and one of those stories has come back to bite me, and I'll tell you why. I don't know about bite me, but you'll understand.
It's embarrassing.
No, not embarrassing.
Not embarrassing.
No, it's more like, how could I have known? Because I didn't.
Okay, all right.
I built this story which was taking the mickey out of a certain fast food chain with a big M on it.
Okay, yeah.
And I had sort of, we flown to this country, to this other planet or something, because we were investigating how people were disappearing. And then, of course, Charisma gets kidnapped as well, and they land on there, and it's a bit like a fast food place,
Yeah.
right? And then look on the menu, and it says man burgers.
Ooh. Wow, we just opened up a big rabbit hole there. Oh, we just went to man burgers.
Yeah, man burgers. And so he found out that they were harvesting humans and making them into man burgers.
You had a prophecy, an epiphany, or an apostrophe. I'm not sure which.
Yeah. So anyway, so it was always a little bit humorous, So that they said, "Oh, where's Christmas? He's sort of disappeared." They said, "Oh, don't worry, we have all the exits covered. So he can't get out." I said, "What about the entrances?" "Oh dear."
I love it. You're not related to Kim Clement, are you?
No. So it was a bit of zany humor, but obviously, at the end of the day, we managed to destroy the planet or whatever with these people harvesting man burgers.
Did you have the Vogons help? Did you have the Vogons help?
What's that?
Oh, you haven't read Douglas Adams' 4-book trilogy, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
I know that story, but the Vogon, I just forgotten that term. Yeah.
Okay, the Vogons come in and explode Earth to make a new super.
Yeah, that's how it starts.
Super hyperspace,
and they just escape in time. Yeah,
I always sleep with my towel from now on.
Oh right, okay. But I mean, all these years later, I mean, I think I still have the recording somewhere. Mm-hmm. My original recording, which I made, it was about 20 minutes long. It was actually quite long. Mm-hmm. When I recently heard about McDonald's and I thought, oh my God. Mm-hmm. And I made a show about this all those years ago.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. And you know what? Whenever you remember in the book Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the computer comes up with the meaning of life, the universe, and everything.
Right.
And in the book, it says the meaning of life, use, and everything is 42.
Right.
And everybody wondered what that meant. Do you know what it actually means?
No, tell me.
You have to think like a computer. You have to look at your keyboard and code.
Right.
Okay. What is code for the number 42 on a keyboard?
In hexadecimal, I presume.
A semicolon.
A semicolon. Okay.
A semicolon.
Oh, okay. Yes. Oh, right.
The meaning of life, the universe, it continues.
It continues.
The story continues. Because that's what a semicolon does. The story continues.
Exactly. Yeah. No, that makes sense.
That's the meaning. That's what the meaning is in the book.
Oh, interesting.
42 is the code for a semicolon in a computer.
Oh, I hadn't heard that aspect yet. Oh, that was interesting.
Yeah, because life continues. Oh, we've droned on enough.
Yeah, we've done an hour. We've done an hour.
Oh my goodness, I didn't think it was that long.
Yeah, well, I think it's about an hour anyway.
Okay.
And,
all right. Well, great. GESARA-GESARA-QFS.com.
Or go just there. Click on the link which I'm going to put underneath this video.
Yep, exactly. And go there, get yourself registered, pay the $4, the 4 bits per episode, and we'll have some fun. But we're coming back, in this format for now. And if we got to continue this way, we got to continue this way.
That's right. Yes. Now, one thing I heard David say today on his show that he was thinking of doing that other show himself in about a week's time.
Yes.
So we ought to make sure that if he's going to do that, that we're not clashing at the same time, because there's people who want to see that and our show.
We'll coordinate with all of, with the.
So we'll coordinate to make sure that if they're doing it on a Saturday or if they're going to do the Wednesday and Saturday, maybe we'll do Tuesday and Friday or Sunday.
Well, yeah, Tuesday and Friday Mahoney's on in the afternoon.
Yeah,
we would have to do it later after Mahoney's show, or do a Monday and Thursday.
Yeah, or something like that. We don't want to stop you watching the other show. Yeah. We just want to give you our take on things and give you the intel and answer your questions and also have a bit of fun. And we'll also bring in aspects which you won't see on the other show. We'll keep it interesting.
We're not under NDAs.
That's very true. Yes, and I don't see, I don't see those two putting on Star Trek uniforms and doing a Star Trek themed episode either.
I'm going to have to break mine out and lose some weight because I don't think mine's going to fit me unless I get into the Klingon outfit. Then I have to put on the full prosthetic.
Oh yes, then you need
and then when I do that, you know who I look like? Kim Peck.
Kim Peck, okay.
Okay, I do. I am a spitting image of Kim Peck when I get all dolled up as a Klingon.
Right. Well, that is something to cling on to.
Yeah, exactly. Or you use toilet paper for it. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
right.
It wasn't long ago we had a run on toilet paper. We didn't have enough.
Exactly. We keep that stuff under lock and key now.
But I'll tell you what's happening right now. I went to the supermarket today, and you can't get olive oil. Well, olive oil you can still get, but you can't get sort of sunseed oil, and even bread is starting to get
Well, we're having a run on a lot of dairy products. You know what the hardest thing to get right now? Sticks of butter.
Sticks of butter.
Sticks of butter. I mean, they as soon as they get on the store shelves, gone.
Oh wow!
In my coffee creamer.
Just
half and half.
What about the vegan alternatives?
The vegan alternatives, they stay there.
Yeah, margarine stuff. Yeah.
Yep. There's plenty of margarine. You can.
Well, they can just use margarine. That's what I use. I
mean, yeah, exactly. I'm sorry. I'm on a keto diet. I don't do the margarine.
Yeah. Well, I'm a vegan, so
right.
I don't do butter.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Well, there's that. So, look, I'm a carnivore, man. I'm still,
Well, each to his own. Each to his own.
All right, Peter. Let's wrap this up. I'm so glad we had this time together just to have a laugh or sing a song. It seems we just get started, and before you know it, it's time to say so long, and that's a ode to Carol Burnett.
Okay, fantastic.
You don't know who that is, but I do.
Okay.
All right. Thank you all. We'll see you real soon.
Absolutely, and we look forward to seeing as many as possible on our new show, which we are starting on Saturday.
Yes, exactly.
See you then.
See you then. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Well, the channel may be slightly different to get on. We're now
standard line, man.
We're now on the GESARA QFS channel.
Exactly. That's the channel. Okay.
That's the channel. So
thanks, folks.
Stay tuned and have fun.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.